Hello. Hello. How are you? I'm just going to see if I can get this on my phone in case anyone joins me live. I might actually be able to see and get any comments. So, my name is Stephanie Butler, and I'm excited to be here this week with you, an unapologetically happy women's group. Thank you for being here. If you're live, put hello in the comments, and if you're catching me on the replay, you can put hashtag replay so I know you were here. And be great to let me know what your biggest takeaway is. So, a couple weeks ago, I put in a poll to ask people what they wanted me to speak on, and anxiety had the most votes, and the second one was feeling stuck. And then I asked for maybe a little bit more clarification on what being stuck meant to some people. And so it was good to get some feedback in private messages, and then also the brave soul Amanda, who answered in the group. Thank you so much. It just helped me to kind of know in what direction to go for this live, so that it was going to be the most beneficial, at least I'm hoping. Yeah, let's get right on to it. So, feeling stuck. I have a lot of notes and a lot of things, so it might be a long one, just letting you know, because a lot of things can be going on when we feel that way. So kind of like unmotivated, feeling stuck, just not sure what to do next, not just not motivated, and so I kind of looked at those things and came up with a few reasons why we sometimes feel unmotivated or feeling stuck. Could be overwhelm and decision fatigue, which is sometimes we have so many choices and responsibilities can lead to having paralysis. The same thing goes for perfectionism. And I'm going to go into detail on each one of these. So with perfectionism as well, we get into paralysis because we're waiting for the right moment. We don't want to do something wrong. I want to make sure I make the right decision. And so we just kind of get stuck and there's no action. It's that paralysis as well. A lot of us have fear of failure and success. So again, making the wrong move can make us hesitate and make us not take an action because of that fear of what the outcome might be. This could be lack of clarity. So if you don't know what you want, it's hard to move towards anything because you're just, what do I really want? What do I need? What's going to help you to move forward when you're not even too sure, right? And then burnout and exhaustion. Sometimes we're constantly giving and not replenishing ourselves, and this will drain our energy. So we want to definitely check in for that one. And the same thing as the lack of clarity is that just not connected to your purpose, like they're just not feeling very meaningful. So why would I feel motivated when I'm just like, well, if I do it, I do it. If not, oh well, right? And so just not having that connection to the purpose. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the things that we can actually practically do to maybe inch a little bit forward, to help us kind of feel a little less stuck and get us moving towards what we want or need in life. So the biggest thing that can break inertia or just no movement paralysis is stop looking at the big picture. like if we don't focus on the big picture and we just take one tiny step, so it could be 5 minute action, then that will remind us like I can do these things. I don't have to create, you don't have to, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? As they always say, we need to do things bit by bit. And so, say you're feeling stuck at work, and you need to write an email to somebody. You can break that down and say, okay, I'm going to write one sentence towards this email, or you can say, I'm just going to write a very messy draft and not send it, but at least just get my thoughts out. And that's step one. And then step two would be go take a break, do something else, come back to it, reread it, try to format it a little bit neater and cleaner, and see if it's ready to be sent off. Right? So we just try to break it down into smaller bite sizes and not do it all at once. And then the clarification, right? Like clarify your why. So like write out like what benefits you from moving forward. Why does this matter to you? Because if it's not mattering, then there's, let's have that conversation, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But it's so important to kind of know why this is a priority for myself, why this is important. And if it's not, then that's okay. Then you've maybe changed your priorities, and that's okay. And again, we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Sometimes if you're just not able to move forward, we can shake things up. We can change our environment, like move the furniture around and fix up your office to be different, or go for a walk, dance, stretch, do some physical movement, because that can shift your mental energy. If you work from home, go to a local coffee shop or a really nice fancy hotel bar and do some work from there. Like choose a different space. It might get your mojo going, right? So it's kind of like breaking up that monotony, and maybe it's just saying, you know what, I'm taking a 20-minute break and go listen to your favorite songs and do a little workout, or just shake your little bootay and dance for a bit and see what happens, because sometimes it's just changing your state. So as I talked about before, we can get into paralysis, and why the main thing of getting into paralysis is we're overthinking. We're overanalyzing, and we've gotten into this belief that we need to think our way into good actions, where actually action will create your clarity. So you're waiting for the clarity to take action, but if you start taking actions, the clarity will come. So we need to reverse how we're seeing the situation. So you can, again, start very small. You can use your phone and put like a 5-minute timer on and just say, okay, I'm going to start, whether like say you're organizing a closet or something that you've been putting off that you desperately need to do. It could be, okay, for 5 minutes I'm doing this one shelf or this drawer, and just see how far you get, because it's just within that movement and you seeing the shifting and changing that you're creating in just those 5 minutes, it will usually propel you to keep going, because you're seeing change, because you're seeing your vision coming to light, right? So like say you were stuck writing, so just write down one sentence or an idea for something, like if you write a blog or you do a podcast or something. say again, that closet, it could be, you know what, I'm going to find 5 things in this closet that I can throw out right now or donate. Just randomly, done. Um, yeah, so just picking small tasks. Um, and again, telling yourself that I'm going to do um, one action, and it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be precise. I'm just going to take a, a step forward. So kind of think of it as a little bit of an experiment, not the final outcome, but just I'm going to just try taking little actions and moving forward, and I'm going to see what happens. So, this this reminds me of I was shoulding all over myself. If you've not heard that term, it's like I should be doing this. And so I was telling myself I should be doing more cardio. I should be walking an hour a day. I should. And so I was talking to my coach, and she's like listening very intently to me shoulding all over. And she asked me, she goes, Stephanie, do you enjoy yoga and lifting weights? That's what I'm hearing. I'm like, well, yeah, I love doing that. And she's like, why don't we just start with doing that every week? Like 5 days a week, you're going to do yoga and weights, or yoga and weights, or both. And just see how that goes for having some movement in your life. I would have never seen it. It was so clear. Just do what lights you up, what you enjoy. But no, I have to do this because in my mind, that's the perfect workout. Some cardio, weights, and then, relaxation and stretching and like just overthinking this thing. And so, yeah, what do I mainly do for physical activity? Yoga and weights. Still doing it, still loving it. So, it's not the perfect workout that I've had in my mind. I've just started what I enjoy doing. And if you're not sure what you enjoy, then just try doing 2 push-ups. That's it. Okay, you started. Again, it might build some momentum. It might be I'm going to do a 5-minute breathing meditation. Just start very, very small because it's not going to feel overwhelming. You're not going to overthink it. You're just choosing something and you're just moving forward. Again, put on that, hat of this is just an experiment and I'm getting curious. And I just wanted to emphasize, like, action creates clarity, not the other way around. Not the overthinking creates clarity. If you've overthought, you know that all it does is get jumbled up in our head, and we can't even make sense of what we're thinking anymore because it's just all there, right? And so we need to take actions. And this is, again, a learning mission. So what works, what doesn't work, I'm going to figure it out. I'll figure it out by taking the actions, and I'm going to see what is good for me and my soul and whatever goals that I have and tasks that I want to get done. So, stop waiting for motivation and just start with something small. I always remind people to reconnect to joy and inspiration, and how you can do that is just take the pressure off yourself and go do something that's fun. Is it like listening to your favorite music and singing along? Like, I would not do karaoke because I was not blessed with a singing voice, but I love singing alone where I won't offend anyone. So yeah, like, just putting on that music and singing away, like, that's fun. Is it meeting a girlfriend, go for a coffee and gab away? Whatever it is, do something. And this will also shift your mindset a little bit and shift the energy, bring some enjoyment, because if we're overthinking and, oh my gosh, I'm not motivated, I need to do these things, they're so important, that's a lot of pressure. We need to take that pressure off. What I do is I tell on myself, In other words, I look for accountability and support. So when I am going to start a new routine or habit or something that I have to get done by a certain time, I tell myself, to my coach, to my friends, and just say, I'm going to blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, now I've said it out loud of a human being, now I have to do it because I'm going to tell them by what date. And then I'm going to tell them, and you can check in on me on this, and I'm going to let you know when it's done. So that helps. And some people like, joining like groups, or, whether it's like going to the gym to different classes because that motivates you, or, depending on whatever you're needing accountability for, that you're trying to do in your life, whether it's work and working out or food prep or whatever it is. There's many different groups out there, like online or in person, that you can get the motivation and accountability for. I love doing yoga. I go to a studio twice a week minimum, to the best of my ability, when life doesn't pop up. And that helps me in that being in that community and being with like-minded people. Sure, I am on the mat at home and I'm watching videos on YouTube to guide me, but it's just not the same. It's not the same of having that intimate community of people who are, there for the same thing, and you roll out your mat and okay, the next hour it's just the energy and vibe here in this room, and let the instructor guide you. And a big thing is having self-compassion and patience. So feeling stuck isn't you failed. It's feedback. So these are a few of the things that feeling stuck might be telling you. Again, try not to get into over analyzing these things. If it doesn't just come to you, then try what I've talked about, like just taking an action, reminding yourself of the why, small little steps. So sometimes we feel stuck because we are out of alignment. So you can ask yourself, am I pursuing this because I truly want to, or because I think I should? Are you shoulding on yourself? Like I should be doing cardio, which I can't stand. How is that going to motivate me to go do something that I absolutely hate doing? It's not very motivating. I'm just going to tell you that. Maybe you need to rest and reset. So sometimes we are overwhelmed. We just need to relax for a bit and maybe take a week off from doing all the things. And that's okay. The list of to-dos and the goals that we have are still waiting, but we can't do it when we're exhausted. Again, that perfectionism, you're waiting for the perfect time because you're afraid of making the wrong decision, right? So you can ask yourself, what is the smallest step I can take right now, even if it's imperfect? Just what's one little small step that I can take towards my goal? Sometimes we are feeling stuck because we're just not, we're no longer interested in what we were doing. Our ideas, our goals, our intentions, they change. And so this might be something that just doesn't inspire you anymore, or just isn't aligned for you anymore. And that's okay. You've outgrown it. Is it serving you? Does it nourish your soul? Ask yourself these things. And if the answer is no, it's not that you've done something wrong, or you've made some bad decisions on the way, or that was the wrong decision all along. No. It was a part of who you were, and Now it's on to something different, and that's okay. And then you could be avoiding an underlying emotion. So sometimes the fears there, there could be guilt or doubt happening, and so we just get into paralysis. We feel stuck. We can't move, and so that could be going on. So you can ask, am I avoiding feeling anything right now? Do I have any fears or doubts happening right now? And just see if that's what's coming up for you. And the best thing, to do is to just change that mindset, um, from judging yourself like, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm taking so long, it's taking forever. Change it to, I'm going to get curious about this goal and what things I could do to work towards it. What's one small thing I can take on? And remember that being stuck isn't the end of it. This isn't like the end of the story. I'm stuck and I'm never going to move again. It's just you're taking a pause, and it could be for many reasons as I just listed. And trust that this is just temporary. Just like anything else, it will change. Our motivation and clarity will ebb and flow. It always does. And it's not going to last forever, especially if you are, shaking things up, changing your environment, doing a little dance, doing what you can to shift, taking one small step, changing to the thought of, this is just an experiment. I'm going to see if I take these few actions over the next week, I'm going to see if this creates some clarity for me. Let's check it out, right? So feeling stuck isn't a dead end. It's an opportunity to listen, to realign, and to move forward with even more clarity than maybe when you've started something. So try to lean in and see what it's guiding you towards. And this isn't the time, like as I say, beat myself, up because I'm not moving and look at me, I'm a lazy, ba 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 ba. You fill in the blanks. It's not about being lazy. It's about, something is underneath it. And so what is this feeling stuck trying to teach me? What's going on? Is where we can really start and start to understand what's happening for us. So I know that was a lot. I kind of went on a big, huge tangent with this topic, but it was so helpful for myself. And because, like I said, I was shitting all over myself about how I should be showing up for me in movement every day. I have stories, limiting beliefs all the time as well, and I need to challenge them. And I need to, first of all, be aware of them and hear them, and then, do the work to work through them and change my perception, shift it just a little bit so I see things differently. So, yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I hope that this resonated for you. If you do listen and this was helpful, I'd love to hear how it was helpful for you. As much engagement as we can get in here, it helps me to get inspired, and then I can always piggyback the next live onto this subject or something that you comment about. So it's a bit of a give and take in here, and it's just helpful to know that what I'm putting down is being picked up. All right, thank you so much for being with me. I know that was a long one, but I just felt like there was a lot to cover in feeling those feelings and how to move forward sometimes. All right, I hope you're well and have an amazing week. I'll see you next week. Bye.